All right, somebody may like to know, how do you profit as a subscriber? All right, what is the kind of profit that's coming to you? Why are you so interested in SWIFTtrip? All right, now SWIFTtrip is for like we mentioned, and I'll be saying again and again, right? It's a gigantic generational wealth creation platform. And that is where exactly it is. Okay, we cannot actually mix our words when we are using when we are talking about SWIFTtrip. So it's going to be a huge blessing to as many as possible. Now, what is coming to you today? If you pay $180, what is coming to you now? As of today, $180 is about 276 naira. Okay, from what you calculated. All right, if you go to the website, you're going to see that current price today. You can see that 1535. That is the USD inflow. So with that in your hand, see, multiplied by 5, all right, you're going to get 276,300 naira. That's what you are paying, all right, to come aboard as a subscriber. Now, if what do you stand to gain from that? Now, okay, obviously $80 will be going for advert bonus, while $100 is going for the project. Now, that aside, now what are you going to gain as a SWIFTtrip shareholder? All right, now let's assume, okay, let's just mix of the e-tags as case study, right? On worst case scenario, do you know that SWIFTtrip going to make you a billionaire, even only just focus on the e-tags aspect alone in SWIFTtrip? All right, now take a look at what we have here. If you have a trip going for $10, which is about 8,000 naira, okay, but let's say 10,000 naira. I like using the word 10,000 naira, and your own share volume is 0.00 into 5 places, 125%, as you can see there. If you multiply that by, okay, the value you have there, what are you going to get? This is what you're going to get. But I'm going to use my calculator and show you what I'm going to get. Now, let's say a trip is going for 10,000 naira. All right, 10,000 naira. If you multiply that by 0.00 into 5 places, 125%. If you do that, this is what you're going to get. You're going to have 0.00125, and that is not even up to what 1 kobo. So somebody going to be saying, what nonsense is that? Why is that what I'm coming to pay for? Now, you have every right to say this because, okay, you probably have not taken a look at what our system works. If you understand how a system works, you will not go to start getting discouraged by seeing this value right now. So I'm going to show you what you stand to gain by walking through a system. All right, what exactly is a system? All right, now if you want to understand how a system works, okay, a very good example is the relationship between Obasanjo and MTN. All right, Obasanjo is the number one shareholder as we speak right now in MTN right there. Now, he has no office in MTN, okay, any MTN building so far in Nigeria, but because he brought MTN to Nigeria and they have, he has a kind of agreement with them, and so they're paying him 1 naira, just 1 naira for every 100 naira airtime you are buying, or data, whatever the case you are buying, is getting 1 naira. Imagine that. So imagine what should a leader of that nature, a great man of that caliber, right, will be doing with 1 naira. 1 naira for every 100 naira. It doesn't make sense, right? But Obasanjo understand how a system works. So the idea is this: it's not only focusing on one person. The system, it keep on running because people are always buying MTN. Okay, I can tell you that is hearing me right now, you must have probably bought today 500 naira airtime, 2,000 naira airtime, as the case may be. Some of us are spending 30,000 naira, 50,000 naira, 70,000 naira, 100,000 naira in a month for buying airtime from MTN. So imagine that. So imagine in a day, how much you think a person is going to be making from MTN if MTN is giving 1 naira. Now, from the research, right, 50 to 100 millions of persons are buying airtime from MTN. So let's assume they are buying 1 naira. Okay, they're paying 1 naira. Okay, sorry, it's getting 1 naira from every MTN airtime. If 50 million persons are buying airtime, okay, 100 naira airtime from MTN, obviously he has made what? The man has made what? Times 1. He has made what? 50 million naira automatically for that day. If 100,000 persons are the one buying that, okay, if 100 million persons are buying from MTN, he has made what? 100 million naira, obviously. That is how a system operates. So when you come to SWIFTtrip, the same thing is happening, all right? I'm going to show you how that is working, okay, also in SWIFTtrip. Now, in SWIFTtrip, all right, take a look at this. All right, if I'm to go by the value I just show you, let's say we are going by 10,000 for a trip, all right, for a trip, multiply that by the share volume of yours, your own share volume as a shareholder, as a node holder we call it, is 0.00 into 5 places, 125%. All right. Okay, so let me show you that 125%. That is what you are paying. Or that's what rather you are getting, right? Is that 100,000? Oh, this is too much. Okay, I wanted to say 10,000 naira. Let's go for 10,000 naira. Okay, very good. Now, if a trip is going for 10,000 naira, you have made what 0.00125. Now, let's assume the trip become what 10 trips for that day. He has made this. If the trip increase what 100, he has made this. So the more the trips are increasing, right? Now we are placing this on what? Remember, we are placing this on just what 10,000 naira. Remember that, right? Okay, but then we are just using this now. If I increase the trips to 5,000, he has made 0.625 in a day, which is possible. Now, if we increase that to, let's say, 50,000 trips, he has made 625 kobo. Now, let's go fast forward and go to like 50 trillion trips. Okay, do you know that in 5 years, 4 years, 3 years time, okay, after the launch of SWIFTtrip, do you know SWIFTtrip can record trillions of trips, trillions of thousands of trips, will be running through a SWIFTtrip record, and that is possible. So let's fast forward and go for like 50 trillion trips. All right, 50 trillion trips. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let me reduce that. Okay, 50 trillion trips. If SWIFTtrip run a record 50 trillion trips within a period of what 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, as the case may be, what have you made so far from the price of what 10,000 naira trip multiplied by your share volume? You have made what 6.25 billion naira. 6.25 billion in a period of 3 to 4, 5 years, and which is possible because this is a company that is paying our customers. This is a company that is going to be paying our referrals. So the referrals will be volunteering themselves and will be sharing their referral links everywhere. And so people got to know coming on board to SWIFTtrip and using the SWIFTtrip platform. And for that reason, we are so sure of making these trillions of trips in 3 to 5 years period. Now the question is this: if it's going to take you 5 to 10 years for you to make 6.25 billion naira, won't you wait for it? Because obviously there are some persons who are 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old, they have not seen 1 billion naira in their bank account. So if it take you 5 years to 4 years to wait to get 6.25 billion naira, won't you wait? Is that a bad business? I don't think so. For this is why we are calling you. Come and be part of SWIFTtrip as a shareholder. Now remember, this only for the e-taxi alone. What about if we stretch this to other areas like the aviation, logistics, e-commerce, and the hospitality? It's going to be mind-blowing. So ladies and gentlemen, we cannot afford to miss SWIFTtrip. Come on board and let's make sure to get things done. So ladies and gentlemen, as it is, right, I expect that you shouldn't look down on kobo here and there, because when we're talking about a system, never you look down on the value of what is coming in. Little drops, okay, here and there, we're going to be making a lot of stuff. And of course, you know the saying that says little drops of water makes a great ocean, and that's where it is. All right, so a time is coming on daily basis, we're going to be making nothing less than 20 billion naira as an individual. If a company, as a company, of course, a company can be making about on daily basis can be making 20 billion naira. SWIFTtrip as a company, yes, a time is coming, we'll be doing that. Okay, time is coming, we'll be making like $40 million in a day as a company. And if that is true, what do you think would come to you as a SWIFTtrip node holder who has a volume of 0.00 into 5 places 125%? And that's why we say don't play with SWIFTtrip, because SWIFTtrip going to make you a trillionaire in dollars. Guys, come on board as you're hearing my voice right now. Don't joke with SWIFTtrip. Now, where could we be in 5 years time? Like we mentioned, right, in 5 years time we're going to be taking over nations. We'll be taking over nations, I'm telling you. So how much do we stand to make in 5 years time? We can make like I mentioned, 6.25 billion dollars, and that's about 5 billion naira thereabout, okay, in 5 years time, which is okay. Worst case scenario, remember we target on 10,000 naira all through. Remember that it's not possible that every trip will be 10,000 naira for 5 years. Not possible. Does it make sense? Is the business cost? What is wrong with the business? But just for you to understand, we just have to use that as a worst case scenario to calculate so you can understand what we are doing here. But sincerely speaking, SWIFTtrip will be here to make you a trillionaire in dollars. Don't joke with this opportunity, because if you do, your children are going to ask you question, why do you miss SWIFTtrip? Now, talking about that, how can you come on board? Like we mentioned, you are spending only $180 to come on board. just $180. And out of the $180, $100 will go for the project that is running right now, and then $80 will go for what advert bonus, or what's called the campaign bonus, as it is for those who are campaigning, and we call them the able SWIFTtrip shareholders. Do you want to become an able SWIFTtrip shareholders? Join us and let's go and cash out, because in campaigning for SWIFTtrip, we are making money. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about that. How much you stand to make altogether? Altogether, how much is right there for us to cash out? If that from our calculation, we have about $191 million waiting for us to cash out for this campaign period, because we're looking for 2.4 million shareholders, and we'll get the 2.4 million shareholders business start. So, ladies and gentlemen, SWIFTtrip will make $1 trillion in dollars. This will continue to say until what it sink into your spirit. And if in case you decide not to come on board, we are not forcing you. We are not here to convince you. We only give you the right information for you to run with it. And if you decide to say, oh, no, I'm not interested, fine, good and fine. Find your way, all right? But I'm telling you, a time is coming. By the time you start seeing our SWIFTtrip airports, SWIFTtrip vehicles, cars running around, you're going to be seeing SWIFTtrip hotels, e-commerce business, the logistics, delivering goods around there. You will remember this day. You remember today that you're hearing this voice. If this story is of today's your first time of hearing, all right, you're going to hear. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. But I want to also beg you, don't try to analyze too much. Don't try to observe too much. Don't even try to, ask too many questions, because too much of that will make you to miss the right thing. Some persons are actually jumping into SWIFTtrip before even thinking about it. A woman missed Zoom shares. Not that she missed it, but she looked down on Zoom shares, she turned it down, and she decided not to buy when Zoom came her way. The same thing happened when Uber came her way. She was testifying. She missed it. She said, no, I'm not interested. It's none of those things, online business, I'm not interested. And what happened? She find it, her own cousin actually found this same opportunity, this same Zoom and Uber. She grabbed it and ran with it. Today, the cousin is making a lot of money globally, while she was struggling with cash, with money as it is. So what happened? When SWIFTtrip came her way, when somebody brought SWIFTtrip to her, this same SWIFTtrip idea to her, you know what she did? She said, please, before you finish talking, tell me the bank account. Show me the bank account, tell me the price. And she made a payment before start listening to the guy who was talking to her about SWIFTtrip. And that's what it is. It is when you miss something, that's when you know the value of it. I'm telling you, if you miss all those other shares we're talking about, Coca-Cola, Uber, Zoom, MTN, and all of that, right? Don't miss this one, because this will definitely going to make $1 trillion in dollars. And if you missed it, you will never go to forget the name. God bless you. I'm going to see you coming up. But if you have any question, please feel free to ask, okay? This is Dr. Tam K. I'll see you in our next work meeting tomorrow by 6 p.m. God bless you. I'll see you some other time. Bye for now.